as she was a better horsewoman man than he was. She had the better horse. That little black horse was not going to win. And so as they flew by me, neither one of them were slowing the horses that were heading straight to the bull chutes. Okay? And I could hear Connie eventually start doing the big, low, guttural, whoa, whoa.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. And, you know, at the last minute, Star's not going to run straight into the bull chute, so he cuts left for the man gate. And the gate is shut. And so, in his best thinking, he headed towards me on the wall. And when he got there, he still wasn't stopped. And he made a decision, well, I'll just go over this wall. Now, that wall was not a short wall. It was probably 5 foot or so. And so, I mean, they were right there. They're coming over. He goes up, and he's got his legs all nicely tucked. And right at the knee joint, he clips the wall. So now they catapult over and hit the ground on the other side with Connie up under him. And everybody knew Connie was dead, but Star went to get up, and when he did, he put his foot right in the middle of her back, right between the shoulder blades. And she would tell that she felt him do it, and then felt him take it away, but not after she got a major bruise and all that kind of good stuff. So he got on up and headed off towards his barn with all the blood and guts coming from his knees. The rest of us picked up Connie, and she eventually, I think the next day, agreed to go get it all checked out. Concluded that, well, her feet and toes and all that stuff still worked, so she was okay, but eventually we got checked out. It took months for Stars.
But did I win the race?
You know, I don't remember the
In that case, I do remember. I won the race.
I'm pretty certain Connie and Star won
That's
that
when she
race.
started thinking about chiropractor. That's
Oh, yeah.
That must have been it. That must have been it. But what an amazing day.
Wow.
That is so scary.
You broke how many bones riding a horse?
Let's see. Sherry managed to help me break his shoes leak. So,
Sleep?
no.
Okay.
All right.
They're talking about you.
We're talking about the wisdom of Connie and Sherry together. It was another horse race. We were out beyond the farm at what they called the blockhouse up on the hill, and I was just a wee little one on some horse, bareback, probably Billy or somebody.
Billy, Steve Eyes, Jose.
Yeah, right, riding bareback. And so those two decided they wanted to race Star. Again, they knew he would not stop against some other horse, Reddy or somebody. And so one of those two, I think that one, said, Luann, go stand at the end of this dirt road, turn your horse sideways. And when Star sees that, he will stop. And again, those two weren't going to let each other win. So I naturally got plowed into, knocked off the horse, landed, and broke my elbow.
Oh.
And even though you wouldn't have expected, the snow was that deep, and I had to walk 2 miles to the farm with a broken arm. Okay, so that's that story. Earlier, that same horse, how they knew he wouldn't stop, had taken Connie up to the mesquite trees and did something and dislocated her shoulder. She was driving a little stick shift red Chevy Nova at the time. And she says, no problem. You just sit real close to me and you do all the gear shifting and we'll get home and figure this out. So, anyway, great fun, great stories with those.
Good story.
So was Star the same, like Star Reed, or was Star Reed?
No, Reed's a different horse.
The full name those two gave him was Stinker Mr. Starboy. Okay. And
Reed was a different one.
Yeah.
He was a good one.
Did you guys have Reed for a little bit?
We had Reed for
I
a
think
while, and Folly.
I remember Reed or Folly coming to the house in Springfield at one point.
yeah, so when
Probably when we brought him
Probably
back
your
up.
Appaloosa.
Yeah, probably.
Star Reed's the one you're talking about, the Appaloosa.
Appaloosa.
So when Connie started having you guys, she asked if Scott and I would take Star Reed, and so we did for a while. And then when I got married and started having kids, I called her back and said, "Hey, will you take Folly and Star Reed back?" It sounds like it was a fairly traumatic journey with your dad in that.
Probably.
Yeah. They launched off to get back to Missouri with the 2 horses, and one of them started refusing to go in. And after several battles, your dad said, "No way, we're booking it, not stopping again." And,
Yeah, standing all the way over me.
you did it, you're in the trailer, you're stuck. Yeah. I'll tell you another Connie story. Again, Connie was my hero from little bitty all the way up until she went to Missouri and after. But for the longest time, it's Connie, little Connie, and myself, and we'd run and go do things. Well, during the time the horses were at this Saratoga Stables place, we decided, as a collective brain trust, that they needed some sand in the back part of their little stall stable thing. Well, we didn't know anything about ordering a load of sand or anything, so we said, "We're right here. Let's just grab some feed bags and go out to the island and get all the sand we want." And so one cold, wintry day in Texas, we took our shovels and a bunch of feed sacks out to the island. And we're steady filling them up, nobody else out there. And here comes I don't know what they were, park ranger or something.
You're stealing the sand, baby.
Exactly. And he said, "What are you doing?" And Connie just stood right up and explained what we were doing. And he just stood there, staring at us.
Walking in the sand, girl.
Yeah. And he said, "Well, you don't take sand from the National Seashore."
It belongs to all of us.
That's right. So she tried a time or 3 to say, "We already got 4 or 5 bags here all ready to go. We need it for horses," and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you cannot take sand from the seashore. So we had to stand there and he washed his board all back out.
He fell in you. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of stuff.
When my granddaughter, Hallie, was about 5, I thought, well, I'll teach her the value of scrap metal. And we were near a railroad track, and walking down the railroad track, all these little spikes that were just trash, filled a whole bucket. The darn thing weighed about 50 pounds. We took it to the scrap metal dealer.
What
He
kind of
said-
thing?
He says, "You can't take that there. That belongs to the railroad."
Yeah,
You can't.
you
He
think?
says, "If I take that, you and I will both be in jail."
Oh,
You know,
Oh, boy.
great. So we
Teacher,
took
I'll
it,
be a felon.
took it back and dumped it near the tracks,
Did you at least keep 1 or 2?
I don't think so. I think that we just dumped them all back at the track.
See, you taught her ethics.
Yeah.
Well, somebody must have broke that code because the cross that George and Carolyn had made for Jay in Alaska is out of those
That's
things.
right.
Stop recording.
I'm not going to tell you the last name. Yeah.
David, what time is your show tonight?
Oh, my show. Tonight's show. The card show. The card trick.
Yeah.
About 7 p.m. I don't know.
Right.
I don't have too many card tricks because I never dove into the card magic of card magic because there's so many different genres of magic. So my forte is stage. So the tricks I'll show you tonight of the card tricks are the same ones I've been doing since I was 13. And I haven't really expanded any. Even that card trick I did with you, I've been doing that for 40 years now. So, yeah.
That's a good one.
So I say about 7. But I can't do it on a whole show because I used all my good jokes just 30 seconds. Yeah.
Well, I have a Connie and magic story. And this is when Connie and Sherry and my little brother Jimmy and I all lived with Nanny and Pawpaw and over on Air Street. And so Connie and I were a few years past diapers, and Sherry and Jimmy were like diaper kids. So Connie and I must have been like 5 or 6 or something. We decided to, we found this thing that was a very magic looking device. It was some kind of like a teapot, something that had pour spout on it. And we decided, we kind of conjured up this idea that we were going to do a magic trick for Grandma. And so we put towels on as part of our magic capes, and we loaded a bunch of flour in the bowl of this teapot. It was a big one. And so the plan was we were going to come out with the teapot, and I was going to blow real hard in the teapot and make a big puff of smoke, and we were going to disappear. And all we did was like coat ourselves in flour. The whole
Hey,
kitchen-
white ghost! Yeah!
We just coated the kitchen in flour.
Oh my
That
God.
was our magic trick.
Did it work?
He made us disappear. Sent us to bed.
Sent them to the woodshed.
Yeah.
Sherry, do you have any stories to share?
Yes, I do.
Okay, hold on. Let me get set up. I need somebody to carry that mic. Get the mic.
This is one of my magic tricks. I forgot about this.
Get the mic, sit it in her lap or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it right next to her on this table.
Quit moving my foot.
Nope, that's part of it. So your foot.
Can we turn this machine off, or will you pass out?
Go ahead and see.
How do I do it? How do I do it? Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, push up. There you go.
Oh, that's better. That's quieter.
All right. Take one.
You're
Tell,
gonna
tell your story.
Oh, I really have to do that?
You don't have to. I was just asking if you had a story you wanted to share.
I do about Connie and Richard.
Oh,
Back then we called him Dickie. Connie and Dickie.
Dickie.
Jimmy and I were on the bad team always.
The bad team?
We were always doing bad stuff
Ah,
because Aunt Cynthia believed Jimmy over me. And anyway, I'm serious.
yeah.
And I found out. Do you guys remember when Aunt Cynthia had her the windows in the back of her car? I think it was a Cadillac,
Yeah.
and somebody shot him out.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't remember that?
Did Jimmy shoot him out?
He sure did. He sure did. And Cynthia told me that. She said I was riding or doing something with him, and he said, I want to apologize for shooting your windows out. You shot my windows out? Yeah, I did. Anyway, so the other Jimmy and I, at Nanny's house on Ayers, where she had that big long driveway.
Right.
Big garden, but Jimmy and I were playing around in the dirt underneath Nanny's house because it was probably about maybe a foot and a half up in the air.
It was like a pyramid beam foundation, so you could crawl under it.
Yeah. We did. Yeah, well, I got other stories about you under Nanny's house.
Yeah.
Anyway, me and Jimmy and I'm sorry. I used to think I wanted to be a
English teacher.
yes, English teacher. Okay. We were playing underneath Aunt Nanny's house on Ayers Street, and Jimmy came running out front of the house. And I said, where are you going? He says, I'm going to go tell my mom that you just pooped in my pants.
That you just pooped in my pants.
And I was terrified because I was afraid of Aunt Cynthia.
Oh, yeah. She was a woman to be respected. Yes.
Well, and I thought, oh my God, they're going to kick me out of the family now for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, you shouldn't poop in other people's pants. It's not a good
I
thing.
know.
That is crazy.
He he thought she was gonna believe him, but he thought wrong that time.
She
He
didn't.
thought wrong, but that was the first time that Aunt Cynthia took my side.
Okay. Were you guys friends and bosom buddies thereafter?
Who?
You and Cynthia?
Well, it kind of came that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what you were going to tell a story about Johnny underneath Nanny's house?
Nanny's house?
Is that what you were thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right time.
That was about getting a dead cat out from under Nanny's house.
Are you?
You remember a story about Johnny?
Yeah.
Tell it.
Okay. Johnny was there. I was not. Nanny was there. So I heard about this from Johnny and from Connie. Probably two different stories.
Probably.
Oh, there's another one. The first thing I remembered that Nanny at her house, she had all these neat little rocking chairs, and so I'm starting to.
You need air.
Yeah, she needs some.
Oh, let
I'm
me give her
starting.
some.
No, that's okay.
Is this part of the story?
You want me to turn on the oxygen?
No,
No.
Okay. I think this is part of the story.
okay. No, it's not. But
Are you out of breath?
no.
Okay.
Oh, I keep thinking that's real ice. I'm thinking you're gonna catch on fire. Anyway, I heard Nanny had a house over on Kirkwood Street, right across that angle from Mother.
Right.
And so I was not there, but anyway, we heard from Johnny, and that Nanny had asked him to go under the house and find out what was making all the noise. And so he went under the house. Didn't she give you a big stick or something to bang on the floor?
No, it was my head that was banging on the core.
Oh.
I had to crawl underneath backwards. And
Uh-huh.
my head, the last time I did this, go up underneath, my head hit something squishy. It was a dead cat and maggots were filling my ear. And Nanny was on top of her, tapping on the floor. Here it is. And my head was, oh, bam, I'm trying to get out of the house. That's where it is, honey. That's where it is. I said, I know. And I had maggots in my ears. Oh, my God.
Gross, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet Nanny had a full and loving life, even though she had to
My
put up
bless
with
her heart
stuff.
said, yes, I hear you. I know that's exactly where it is. I said, don't just get me out of here.
So what was making the noise if the cat was dead?
It was dead. It was the stink.
Oh boy. Smell.
Johnny was making.
So it was a spell she had you go investigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find the smell.
Yeah.
Source of the smell.
That's all.
I'm impressed you did.
Oh, wait.
I'm impressed you offered to do it.
No, well, I live with that. Boy, when I was a little kid, they dropped me off there all the time because Mom worked at the office and she read me the Bible and put me to bed at nap time. And she was great.
You have another story?
Yes.
Okay.
About John.
Keep it clean.
It's clean, kind of. And I was in the baby's room. Aunt Cynthia and Uncle Max, who have both gone on, it's out of this world. I don't know which direction. But I don't, I'll be honest, I don't. Well, Nanny, I know, she went up.
Yeah.
Cynthia,
Cynthia, not so much, huh?
oh. She became nice to me after. Yeah.
Okay.
She probably went up.
I'm not sure how.
Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She probably went up.
Okay. Anyway, Dickie and Connie, I heard them go into the kitchen because it's a 2-story apartment, and I hear them laughing, and I'm hearing this a squeak sound all the time, and Cynthia had just cleaned her kitchen. They were in there getting each egg out of the refrigerator and throwing them on the floor all over the kitchen.
Who did that?
No way.
Johnny?
I deny it.
Jimmy and Connie?
John.
Jimmy and John. No,
I deny it.
I denied it.
Who did that?
Connie
Connie
and Dickie.
and Dickie.
Oh! Do you remember this?
Anyway, they broke
Little
all
devil
her
that you were,
eggs.
you probably did that. Yeah.
Dickie wants an attorney on this matter.
Okay.
Bear with me.
I'll give you mine.
Okay.
That's it.
Great to have Sherry
And
remember
then
all
Aunt Cynthia heard the noise.
Hey, wait a minute, she's not through. Aunt Cynthia heard the noise of you mashing eggs,
They were raw eggs.
raw eggs.
And she beat it right out of your memory, so there you go.
So what did Cynthia do?
She came into the kitchen. She got really mad. She wasn't mad at me this time.
She wasn't mad at you?
No.
Which, that was pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing not to
Now,
make an
what did you do
She didn't get
that got her so mad at you all the time?
I don't know.
Well, you told me about a Marco Polo story once. A Marco Polo
I
or
don't
Blind
know.
Man's Bluff. What about blindfolding somebody?
Oh. Oh, yeah. That was pretty bad.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah.
What was that?
Is Marco Polo where you blind somebody and
Or something like
Turning.
that. I forgot what you
you
called
spin
it.
them around?
Blind man's
What's-
bluff.
Yeah, that's what we call it. He said, I didn't know at the time. And Jimmy taught me. It was Jimmy's idea, and Jimmy taught me. So he found a scarf or something, and he tied it around my face. And each of their rooms had a little patio for each of them to go out on their patio. And so I'm standing fairly close to whose room was it? What was I thinking? See, my brain goes.
Blinds man bluff. Jimmy
Okay.
taught you how to play blind
Oh,
man
yeah.
bluff.
Okay. And I don't know what Jimmy and Connie were doing. I mean, Dickie and Connie.
yeah.
They were probably being good.
Yeah.
And I was,
Jimmy was about to cause you to be bad.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right. Oh, he did cause me to be bad, but nobody believed him.
Nobody believed you or believed
Nobody
him?
believed me or him.
Or him.
He,
So you had the blind man thing on.
yeah, he was teaching me
Then what happened?
that the other person would twirl you around, and you should be able to figure out which direction to go and find them.
Right.
I'd never played this before, and Jimmy had spun and spun and spun, and then in a strange little voice, he said, "Come and get me."
He said what?
"Come and get me."
Yeah.
It wasn't his normal voice.
Right.
Because, anyway. So, I thought, oh, I know where he's at. He's right over there. And I went to go right over there, and it was the door to the patio. And I went crashing through the patio door.
Was it glass?
It was glass.
And you crashed through it.
Yes.
Oh my.
And so Cynthia run into Jimmy's room because she knew it had to be us.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
And I'm bleeding a little bit,
Oh my gosh.
not enough to count. But the glass window totally broke.
Oh my God.
And I got grounded to the couch.
Time out chair.
You got a chair?
No, the couch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and that's just how it goes sometimes. You fear and you run. And it's nice to have somebody behind you that doesn't run very fast. But no, she believed him that I was telling him how to play that game.
She believed him.
She believed
Well,
him.
Jim's not here to defend himself, so it's okay to pick on him.
And I love you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Connie and I put Jim and Sherry up to all kind of devil.
I'm beginning to think
I'm
so.
pretty sure we taught them how to throw eggs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I was an angel in my house. While y'all were doing that.
Oh, really?
That's right.
I heard about BB guns and
Okay, we can stop.
and it was not at my house. Not Nate's house. It was at his big white house. I'll let you tell him the rest
About what?
about the BB guns.
You want to tell us about BB guns?
I'll tell you about BB guns.
Well, let's move it on over
Can
here.
you?
Turn on the oxygen, Steve.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for sharing. That was some good stuff.
Have we ever had?
Put it over here.
I'll help Dick out. I don't think the Snyder boys were involved in any of this mischief. They weren't going to do that. But back when we were kids, when you bought a Winchester BB gun, it was powerful.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Was that the kind you could pump up to
Pump up,
Or
power.
beyond, probably.
And they gave us, we were 8 or 9 years old, they gave us those BB guns. And then they gave us BB pistol. And my brother said, and don't ever shoot them yourself. No, we won't. As soon as the parents left, we get all the guys together. Okay, everybody shoot below the belt. Yeah, right. And we shot them. It's lucky my cousins on the other side, up in
Your mom's side.
my mother's side, we went out in the woods by their house and we had days-long BB fights when we're hiding, shooting while you're below the belt, below the log. I mean, all this. And nobody got their eye put out. And the last fight I had with my brother, he had one of those pump-up things, and he'd rigged it to be an automatic almost. He was fat, and he was on top of the garage, and then he got me caught behind the garbage cans, and he would just, and he would carry BBs in his mouth so he could spit them in the thing real fast, and I had to pour them in my little hole and shove it in, and all that kind of stuff, and he'd put it on, and he'd just, bam, and I just reached up, shot, waiting, over spawn.
Was that
Out.
See?
And he didn't.
Another
And so I
person that-
hollered. He didn't answer. I went and called up the ladder. Got up on top of the house, and I shot him right between the eyes, right here on the head, and embedded. And we had to go tell mother, and then that was the end of our BB rifle.
That was Al.
Yeah.
You got Al right between
Yeah,
the four.
right here. I mean, it was deep in there. I had to go across the street. Our pediatrician lived across the street from us, and get it dug out. And our BB rifles got broke, and
Yeah.
but we still. Then they gave us Christmas BB pistols.
Oh no.
And we had a maid that one time Mom and Dad had gone somewhere and she was drunk. She drank, and we chased her out of the house, shooting her in the butt with the BB gun, and walked her out of the house.
Oh my God.
And then we got in trouble for that.
Yeah, me and Jesse used to have BB gun fights in the woods quite a bit. Yeah.
We put up a box on my mom's bed, at the head of the bed, and drew a target on it with our pistols, and we're shooting it. And even the pistol you could pump up, and we shot it, probably 150, 200. And then when we took the box down and went right through the box into the wall. 100 BBs all through the wall.
Oh no.
And who did that? I don't know. Then we were telling each other, and then sometimes Al would get spanked, I'd get spanked. But whichever one of us got spanked first, the other one would start crying. Oh no, don't spank me! So, then we beat each other to the ball.
Did they ever include you in any of this?
Well, let me tell you. I came into the room one time, you know, Dad wasn't always around the house, but he was there that time. And John and Alan had done something, and Dad was gonna do something to him. And I think Alan stood up tall, like not this time or whatever. And there was two events similar to this. And Dad said, "Oh, you think grown? You take me on?" This was upstairs in the big master bedroom. And somebody in that group said yes. And honest to goodness, there was young boys flying through the room. And one of the walls in that room was mostly glass. And I just got in the corner and was watching all this. And the dust settled and everybody lived.
We understand that we didn't take on it.
It didn't take on an AW ever again. But then another event, he had been somewhere forever and he came home and he called us all into the gun room and said, "I just want to show you what's going to happen if y'all don't do right."
Lined us all up.
Lined it all up.
That was in the master bedroom.
Okay, wherever that was.
They probably had guns too.
He spout the belt, right? And he got it all ready where it would make a big pop when how you double it. They walloped Alan and he walloped you, and by the time he got to me, I was crumpled on the floor, so I didn't get the wallop, but they did. And
She always got treated better.
I know, life was almost good.
Who stood up to JW? Both of you, or?
Al did, and I was backing Al up. So.
You were wrestling him or fighting him?
Well, we got the wrestling competition. We got
So-
to quit it.
You got a whipping for
Dad,
doing
Dad
nothing?
was just playing with it.
Yeah.
I did talk to Jen one time when I was about 16, feeling like I was 40.
Yeah.
I was in Alaska. He was telling me something, and I got fed up with him. You know, I'm not gonna do that, old man. Stupid old man. And he didn't. He didn't hit me with his fist, but he slapped me. And I slid. He had a big store at the time. He bought a whole Safeway store and had his cars lined up. And the floor was waxed really nice. And he slapped me, and I slid. I bet I slid 20 feet. JW he had muscle because he was a pipe fitter for a long, long time and a welder. And he said, "You're not going to talk to me that way as long as you live under my house and my roof." I shouldn't have. And so I was out of place. That's the only time he ever truly raised a hand against me. And, he had a right to. He had a right to.
Does anybody have any pleasant stories?
I'll tell you another JW story. In Alaska, this would have been probably 66 or so. We were up there and he was trying to do his car lot business and stuff. And he had decided that we were all going to go to the woods, go camping or something. I don't know what the idea was. But he had a four-wheel drive Jeep truck, Wagoneer thing, and he filled that thing full of some kind of metal.
Metal plates used in the war to build airstrips in World War II on the sand beaches. They interlocked. And we had some of those. We had to put them in the front and drive. Put them in the front and drive over the muskeg.
Right. And so he just kind of I'm the little one, so I don't get all the details of what's about to happen. Just go get in the truck, go get in the whatever, and mother, grabbed John and Al and let's go. And there was some other people involved. One of his mechanics. Yeah. So off to the woods we go. Felt like 100 million miles.
Mile 101 on the Glen Ellen Highway.
Okay, he knows the details. And so we get on this journey, and it's getting later, but it's not dark in Alaska at that time of year. And so we're going farther, and then we hit the bog, and now we do this routine with putting these metal things and go 12 feet and put another one and another one, and so eventually we got a little higher ground. And now clearly it's like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and we're 5 or 6 hours from humanity anywhere.
That's where the caribou.
Okay. And so Dad says, well, we're going to stay here tonight. Mom says, where? What are you talking about? And he reaches back into the same truck and pulls out one of those 150-pound military tarps, canvas thing.
Air mattress without the air.
Right, well, we're going to sleep in this thing. Okay? And so I think no one understood what he meant. What he meant was he was going to lay this thing out about 20 or 30 feet wide.
Stars.
And everybody's going to line up on it like you line up dead bodies. And then somebody's going to be out there and pull it up like an enchilada.
It's called a tent tamale. A tent tamale.
Tent tamale.
That's a real
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
Yeah, and so, okay, but before we could all crawl in this thing, he handed, was it you and I, he handed 22s to and said, go get dinner. And, yeah, you know, I'm about this tall and he's not much taller, and
What are you gonna get? Squirrel?
the state board, bird, ptarmigan,
Ptarmigan,
yeah,
Okay.
mini chicken. So we went and found some ptarmigan.
You
We
did?
yes, we did.
And you were able to
Shoot 'em up.
Shoot them?
Yeah.
You cleaned it there and
I didn't clean it, I think you probably did, but we had ptarmigan and there was something else weird. He always had a Hershey bar or tin in his
Always
pocket.
had chocolate bars. When he came home from his trips, he always brought us a roll of go around candies. Red, green, blue part candies.
Like
Necco,
Sears?
Necco.
No. What do they call them? You know, a little roll about this big, about that long, multi-rainbow colors.
oh, lifesavers.
Lifesavers.
Yeah.
He said, which hand? He put it behind his back, which hand? They do that.
Okay.
Y'all ever hear the story about my
We survived
Christy
being
goat
back then.
hunting? Plane and the plane wreck, plane crash. Christy and I were married. And Christy had never been on a jet airplane. When she was 19, I was 24. And she'd never been on an airplane out of Texas. And I used to hunt a lot in Alaska, and I'd hunting mountain goat. And Jada been everyone said, why do you want to go hunt a mountain goat? Because a mountain goat's got a horn about this big around, and a big one's like 9 inches. And for ladies, 9 inches. But anyway, a big goat's 9 inches. And you got to climb on the mountain, da 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 da. And I had went once, and the first time I went with George, we went to, we were out of Seward. We flew in November, flew across the mountains onto the ocean side. It was snow, and had 10 below on the winter side. On the ocean side, it was a little bit not so snowy. And when you would fly, I had a pilot's license, but I wasn't flying then. When you flew a little airplane in Alaska in the snow, if you were going to land on a lake, you'd take a rock or a heavy log and drop it and see if it would bounce on the lake. If it cracked the lake, you could tell if it's solid enough to land. Or if you're in the snow, you'd throw it out a log and let it see how deep it was and fly back and look at the shadow that it made in the snow, and you know how deep the snow was, whether you could land it on wheels or you had to wait to get skis. And the first time we went, I went with George, and he gave me all of his nice military equipment to go. And the deal with the mountain goat, when you're looking at a mountain goat, you'll see him, and if he could take a step, he'll be behind the rock, and he disappears. You don't know where he's at. So you leave somebody on the ground or in the valley or on the beach to give you directions when you're trying to get up to the mountain goat. And I've gone the first time, gone up the mountain, and had my ice spikes on, and the mountain started off like this, and the goat he was just about 600 yards ahead of me. He would move a little further, and I was climbing, and I ended up like this on the wall. And then I noticed where I was. I got so scared, and my legs started shaking, and my ice peg shook dirt loose, and I fell. And I fell about 700 feet down, rolling down the mountain, broke my knee, broke my gun, and all kinds of problems. And George is on the beach down there. He's okay, that's okay, just come on down. Let's But by the time I got down, the snow had come, and we had a whiteout. And the pilot, when he took off the lake, we got up, and just as soon as we got up, it was a whiteout. And all you could see was the propeller. George is in the co-pilot seat, and the pilot, and I was in the back. And had laid me out, and my leg was broken. And all we could see was the propeller. We had mountains on 3 sides, and we knew the ocean was on this side. So when he took off, he went to the ocean, and he knew he'd fly a minute this way. He had to turn around and fly just a minute back. And when George was able to see, when the tide hit the beach, it made a different color white. And he said beach. And when they figured that out, then they do this 1 minute, see the beach come up. And then finally we saw the glacier, over the glacier, it makes its own weather, it's a little clear spot. And you fly to the glacier, and got back around the mountains and landed. And that next winter, that guy had 4 Japanese tourists, and they crashed. Killed them all. So that was a broken leg. Then fast forward in 1971, I went with my best buddy. I have this story about with Christy. When I met Christy, my brother-in-law, Mark, my best friend in high school, had married her older sister, and I was running with him all the time. And Kathy didn't like me very much. Matter of fact, she told me to wrestle one time. I said, "You don't like me very much." She said, "Not one damn bit." Anyway, but I was always with Mark everywhere we went together. She didn't like me because when they got married, the first weekend he came to Houston to visit his brother. He came to see me when I was working at Truck Salvage. And I said, "We're getting ready to go hunting. You want to go with us?" "Well, yeah, okay. I'll just call Kathy and tell her to stay with my brother. We'll be back Monday." And that didn't go over her. Anyway, so Mark and I went hunting, mountain goat hunting. And you fly from a big lake into a bigger plane, and you take a smaller plane to a smaller lake. And then from there, it was like a 7-hour climb up into a mountain valley. And then from the valley, it's about a 5-hour climb up to the mountain. And you get we get up there. And again, when there's two of you, who's going to shoot first? You flip a coin, and you decide who's going to get the first shot. If it's a single, if it's 2 or 3 animals, you can choose who's going to get the biggest. So you have to make a choice. Well, I won the toss. And Mark is about as blind as a bat. He wore glasses about that thick. And every time he'd shoot, he'd jerk about 4 feet. Anyway, I won that toss, and we saw a goat, and we were doing like a 2-hour thing. I'd go 100 yards, he'd look, I'd watch him, I'd see the goat, and he'd come to me, kept getting, and the last 100 yards, he was supposed to go and wait for me, and I was going to come shoot. Well, he didn't wait. He shot and missed by 5 miles. And so anyway, I was pissed off about that, and we're way up here now, 11 hours in, and we're over a mountain range, getting ready to come back. We had to go down the valley, back up another hill, and cross down the mountain. And I was down halfway I'd say about 100 yards down off this peak of the mountain. And you see when you drive in the mountains, you look at the mountains, they come together. There's a little snow up here. It comes to a big slide down like that. And I was about here from there was a slide. And I had to either walk up 10 feet or so to get around it on top and come back down, or I could walk just across it. And to cross it was about twice its length to get across the snow slide. And I was walking with my boots, I was walking, and I got in the middle and I slipped. And what took 4.5 hours to get up took me about 30 seconds to get down. And when I was coming sliding down, I was trying to stop myself. And if you didn't hit them both together, you hit one first, you start spinning. And we got to the bottom. When I was getting to the bottom, it's about 150 yards wide with one big rock sticking out of the middle. And I hit that with my ankles up here, and it broke my tailbone off and fractured my 2 lower vertebrae.
Oh my God.
And we were like 4 miles from the camp. And about an hour after that, Mark came behind. I was way ahead of my friend Mark. And he came behind and he saw me. That's the fast way to get down there. But I was able to tell him no. And he came and got me, and I walked about, I was almost a mile away, bless his heart, and I passed out. I turned purple from here to here. And I couldn't walk straight. I had to walk sideways, because if I walked straight, you hear the bones. I had to hobble sideways. Anyway, so I broke my back, broke my lower back, broke my leg. So my plan was, look good on paper. If I go in the heavy winter, all those goats will have to be down in the valley to eat. Because on that trip with Mark, I'm walking up and I'm seeing all this goat hair on these bushes down low in the valley. And I was asking the guy later, I said, what's all the hair doing down there? Oh, they come down in the wintertime. I said, okay. So I got the record book, where they shoot the biggest goats in Alaska. It's one mountain in Copper River Valley. And one big volcano thing that's in the middle of this valley. The Copper River runs beside it. And that's where the biggest goats are. And I'm thinking, okay, we come in the dead of winter. They'll be right down there, and I'll kill them all. Every man, woman, and child. They owe me. I'm going to get them all. And check the weather. The weather's going to be 30 below zero.
Oh my God.
That's when they first invented, I forget what it's called, Daymart or whatever, this kind of super duper thermal stuff. So I got the best you could get and all the best clothing. I'm telling Chrissy we're going to go do this. I called George. Really? Oh, okay, no problem. I know a pilot. They'll take you. So we came up in Thanksgiving, had Thanksgiving with George, drove to Glen Allen, got this guy that he's going to take us in a brand new Cessna 182 Skywagon. I used to fly that kind of plane. And he says, okay, where do you want? I told him where it's going. He said, yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, we're ready to come tomorrow morning. So we came, showed up in the morning, and he's on wheels. He's got his plane on wheels. And I said, wait a minute, we're going to where the snow is knee-deep. Oh, no, I was in there a couple of days ago. It didn't look so bad. I said, well, we're here already. Okay. He said, well, get in. He's taking his time, getting in. He said, y'all put your seatbelts on. I got the co-pilot seat. Christy got in the back. And then somebody from the flight shack came running out. Hey, Jim. His name was Jim. Said, your wife wants you on the phone. So we said, well, hang on a minute. And he got all of them. Then she said something. I don't know what, because then he ran back to the plane. Okay, let's go. Go ahead and put your shoulder harnesses on. And it just, bam, he had to go. I'm sure something was said that he had to hurry. Yeah. So we took off. About an hour and 20-minute flight. Saw some of the biggest buffalo I've ever seen in my life. They had wild buffalo, bison, what they call a Yukon buffalo in Alaska. Huge buffalo. We get to where this is. I say, hey, we fly around the mountain. I want to look around the mountain first. He flew around the mountain, and a mountain goat and a mountain sheep against white snow looks yellow almost because of the talon, the oil in their eyes. And there's yellow spots all over the top of that mountain. What I forgot to calculate was the wind blows about 400 miles an hour up there and blows all the snow off the top of that mountain. And that's where all the bush and grass is because everything else is covered with 400 foot of snow. I'm thinking, oh, this is not good. And this is where God came to play, really did, because we would have died because there were no cell phones then. So he came to land. I said, and he said, no, it's not bad. And when you're going to land the little airplane short, you put 45-degree flaps. You're down and you can land it real quick. It'll land real fast. And normally I thought he would come down and go really fast. Another way to tell the snow, you go real fast and you just touch your wheel in the snow. You're going wide open and just skip the snow. And if you hit a rock or something, it'll bump you up and no problem. And I thought he was going to do that, but then he set his flaps down. And he sat down, and when he sat down, the snow was about this deep. That deep. On wheels. And it had frozen the night before, probably, and it was about that deep ice.
Oh, man.
So when he broke through, he started stalling. The stall goes off, wah, 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 wah. And the ocean, the river, in front of us, Copper River, when we finally finished flipping, the river was about 50 yards in front of us. And he was smart enough to know, in a little airplane, they have what they call magnetos, which is our coil in an airplane that supplies the spark to the motor. He cut the magnetos off and he dove the plane in to let it flip and stop before it got in the river. Otherwise, we'd have crashed in the river and we'd gone.
Yeah.
So we crashed and turned over, and the windshield popped out, and the snow's coming in. The wind is going down. And my first thought was, "Damn, screwed another goat on." You know. And then Christy, bless her heart, Christy was saying before we went, said, "No, we need to take some igloos so that we keep our food cold." You know, I said, "Christy, 30 below zero. Kids. No, we don't need.
You don't need an igloo.
Yeah, need it." Well, she's hanging upside down. I asked, "What the? Well, it's a crazy way to land." So she hit her thing, and the only injury was, when the plane finished, one wing was broke, fuel was everywhere. The guy said, "Get out before it blows up," and nothing happened. Just purple fuel everywhere. She hit her harness release, and she fell and hurt her neck.
Oh.
That was her only injury of that situation.
Yeah.
So that night, I keep messing with her. He tells me we put a tent up, and I was planning on staying there 10 days. No way, we would have died. We would literally have died because we tried to put this tent up. That's why they have tamales because the snow's so hard. Unless you got a jackhammer, you can't put no stakes to hold the tent up. So we just put the tent on the ground and crawl in and all that. And she says, "That's the first time I slept between two men and almost froze to death." I said, "When was the first time you didn't? You didn't freeze to death." But
Wow.
so that's and then in the
How'd you get out of there?
So George knew where we were going, and in Alaska, my dad, when we hunt, we'd always say, if you get somewhere in the night, don't leave. Always leave. You stay with the plane if it wrecks or crashes. Number one, and you build a fire at night. Wait till nighttime. Build a fire. We can fly over and see a fire. You can't see one person down there waving in the trees. So and when the pilot didn't come back, his wife called George, and they didn't come back. And George was a head command navigator for the Air Guard, so they had a C-130, and they flew over where we were going to be and saw us. And they sent us
At night, they saw a
that
fire.
next morning, the next day. They just saw the plane the next day.
Oh.
And they sent a Super Cub to get us, and the Super Cub is a plane that's vinyl cover on the outside of it, and it's a Super Cub's a stick with the pilot and a little bitty jump seat back here with the passenger, and then the one behind, anything behind you, moose meat, whatever, goes laying in the back of the tail. You almost pick the plane up and throw it. They call it a J3 or a Super Cub. It's just literally two people can pick it up and turn it around. Okay,
Yeah.
so it lands and get us, and Chris, I'm not going
Get into that
to in
thing.
the plane because it was me and the pilot, me, and she was going to ride, and the pilot of the plane was going to stay there, and they were going to get him the next run. So I'm not getting on the plane. Not getting on the plane. We ended up having a tire. She was in shock.
Oh, wow.
And put her in the back.
You kidnapped her.
Yeah, and we flew, but the Super Cub could only go as far as it's a little town, the Copper Town, where the copper mine was.
Oh,
McCarthy. McCarthy, Alaska was where the Kennecott copper mine was in the late 1800s, early 1900s. A lot of copper there. And there's a little town, old log cabins. And in Alaska back then, well, way back in the 60s, the only people showed up in Alaska were oil guys or people running from something. Really. I mean, they weren't normal people there.
Yeah.
Maybe not some normal. But anyway, back then. So this place is out in the middle of nowhere. You had to overwinter there, no power. And they had a stockbroker had moved in there with the log cabin, him and his wife. Some realtor from Minnesota, some other guy from Ohio, and there was an old couple, probably 65. It had a little dirt strip that ran an FAA weather strip station that would report the weather every day by radio in that area. So he let us overnight there in these old log cabins from those days. And that, what's so sad about that, the stock broker couple had a little baby. And I was amazed by this baby that had a little papoose on the back, and they were going out cross country skiing with this little baby. Well, flash forward, then they came and got us and took us home the next day. 4 or 5 years later, we're home reading the paper, Chrissy is, and says, look at this. A man had come into McCarthy that spring and decided to winter over and went shacky. And what would happen?
Went shacky?
What they call nuts in the woods. And the plane would come once a week and drop mail at McCarthy. And these people, old people around the strip, got the mail. And the people, it was about 800 yards from where this little town was to the airstrip. They'd walk to get the mail. And this guy shot him.
Oh.
He killed him. And the only one who lived was a little 5-year-old little boy.
Wow. Shot all the adults.
Shot all the adults as they were walking to the mail. McCarthy massacre. Remember? You read about that?
Wow.
How many people got killed?
5.
Oh.
And the little kid was the only one who lived.
Oh my God.
He was the stockbroker?
Well, the stockbroker and his wife were the ex-stockbroker.
Oh.
They decided burned out and we really just wanted to live there. And his little kid was the only one who was left.
there was another piece to your airplane story. What was in the duffel bag?
Man, Christy was Catholic when we married, and I wasn't nothing. I was Baptist, St. Mattress Baptist, and so I tried to be a Catholic and go into catechism class. And she wanted to. I was taking. She wanted one of my friends, Jimmy Dawson, to give me his Bible, little Bible. So I'm gonna take his Bible and we study it when we're out there. I said, no way, I'm not packing that. When I used to go goat hunting or mountain sheep hunting, I would take. I figured out when they first made frozen food, I'd eat frozen strawberries and for breakfast dry, drink water in lunchtime, and dream that they would swell up for supper because I didn't want to carry anything out. Or if I had a ham and cheese sandwich, I'd take a piece of bread, put mustard on it, and dream they had ham and cheese when I was up on the mountain because I didn't want to pack the ham and cheese. I was a lean, mean machine. You know, and nobody liked packing with me because I didn't pack nothing. And she packed that in the bottom of the duffel bag.
The Bible?
Anyway. And when we kicked the door off the plane, that duffel bag had been in the back. It flew over to the front. And when it fell out of the plane, the first thing that fell out of that duffel bag was the Bible. Yeah, I'll share this moment. As believers, I assume we're all believers in the Lord. When I was 47 years old, I played the routine of a believer. Christy made us go to church. I took my kids to church, and I'd let them out and put the sun visor down and kind of hunker down as they left to go to church, and I'd drive out the parking lot and go home. And our church had a thing called UMARMA, United Methodist Army, where we'd send kids every summer out to poor folks' homes and build wheelchair ramps or help fix things that are broken. And Nikki, my youngest, had been going if you went all 4 years, when you're 9th grade, you could go. And she'd ask me, Ted, would you go? Would you go? And I'm thinking, no way, I don't like kids that much, number one. And number two, it's hot in the summer, very hot in the summer in Texas. And number three, I'm too important. Me, mine, everything was me, mine, and mine. I said, no, I'm going to do that. And the 4th year, she said, if you just please come on and get my cross. I said, okay. So I went, that was what they called an adult leader, and the adult leader is supposed to, and I'm going to apologize in advance because I'll tell you, I'm going to cry like a baby in a minute. But I was an adult leader, and you had 5 kids, and we had 3 different churches that brought kids together, and I had 5. One of my 5 was a AD person, little kid that savant. His story, his talent show was, he had a book like 500 something pages about movie history of all the directors, the set makers, and anybody could go to any page, ask me anything. Somebody asked him 1937 movie such and such, who was the set director, and he knew it. I mean, unbelievable. That guy had another daughter, a little girl, and her sister was pregnant, going to have a baby in a minute. You're not supposed to have a cell phone on this trip. She had a cell phone. They had another girl that was 17. This was her last year. She came from the Methodist Home for Wayward Children. Her name was Brandy, and she was, this was her last year, and had a football player from Woodlands, strong football player. And another little girl was just, anyway, and the adult's not supposed to do anything. You're just supposed to make sure they don't cut their fingers off and advise them. My client was about a 450-pound African-American woman that her toilet was broke, and she had dumped her sewage in the bathtub and put Clorox in it to let it drain, and she needed a small 18-foot ramp out her door. And this was in East Texas, Jacksonville, Texas. In East Texas, I don't know if you remember, up and around Athens, it's got this red stone, iron and stone, hard ground. And the rules were you had to put every 3 feet, 36 inches, 4 feet, 48 inches, you had to put a 3-foot deep 4x4 post to build a wheelchair ramp. So he show up and I got all the material, get everything laid out there, and looking for my kids. I'm getting the tools put in the boxes, and I'm pretty organized and stuff. And the little kid's gone, and I'm looking for him, can't find him. He'd gone back out to the street. We were about 3 blocks off of Major Highway, and was walking down the middle of the highway when I found him. What are you doing? And on the sign it said, the next town, I'll take a number, 28 miles. Did you know there's 10,499 white stripes between here and that town? I said, come back. Come back. And the other little girl was off in the woods talking to her sister. Anyway, so we show up. We're starting to lay all this stuff out. I tell the girls on Monday, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we start building and go home. Monday came, and I said, I want you girls, ladies, 4x4, the plywood's out here. I want you to put these 4 2x4s, put 2x6s on the sides, nail it all together. And they're working on that all day long. Tuesday, they do it all. The boys were painting the front porch. And then Wednesday, I come back, we're going to start building the wheelchair ramp. And the first thing I see is all the platforms that they made were all in pieces. It's falling all apart. The kids in the neighborhood are playing with them over the ditches and stuff. And, what's going on here? How did you do that? Because you had 3-inch screws. I said, well, no, Mr. Ellis, we didn't use those. We got these little roofing nails over here. They work better. And we did that. I mean, only this much. So that got me frustrated. Bottom line, I was thinking all this time now, in my mind, what kind of a lie can I tell my daughter that will get me save grace with her and save my face with her and tell them I'm too important because I got to go back to the office. I can't do this. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. And we start digging this hole, and the football players trying it with the post hole digger, it's just nothing. It's like hitting a table. So we go and get a grubbing hole. We hit this thing with a grubbing hole. He wears himself out about this much. I wear myself out a couple of times this much. I call the office and say, look, I need y'all to send me a backhoe out here. I'll pay the rent. Send me the backhoe. I'll take care of it. Well, back then the guy I didn't know him. Was a very good friend now. He said, well, John, just pray on it. And pray on it. Hell, hey, pray on it. Give me a break. And kept going. Did it. So bottom line, called him again. John, just pray on it. So I was hitting this thing. I got so angry. I was hitting this thing so hard, not getting anywhere. And at the exact moment, it was June 12th, 1:30 p.m., 2002. I fell to my knees. I thought I was having a heart attack. The kids ran up to me and then touched me, and I was looking at them, and I couldn't feel. I thought my arm, my chest hurt bad, and I heard God or His angels. I'm sorry, but I know I heard God. He said, "Listen, be still, listen. You can do this. Look what I've done for you. it's the most beautiful feeling I've ever, all these years I'm trying to come with a word that explains how that makes you feel. And there's no word that can figure that out. And stupid me. Anyway, I got up and I took that, yeah, right, and I hit it, and where? The pickaxe just, it just turned soft. And we dug all those holes about an hour. I'm telling you,
Wow.
and ever since, I'm happy I'm super happy for Sherry. She goes to heaven 2 seconds from now. I'm jealous. I know that God. Yeah, I've seen it. And that night I'm thinking, well, yes, he thought I could make the wheelchair man. Maybe that's what he's talking to me about. No. I've been dreaming up all these ways why not to go to church, and no. The next day, all right, they send somebody else to finish that rack. We done the rack, and they came and cleaned it up. The next day they sent me to this place, and there's a little farmhouse up on a hill. They were driving up the hill, and you look at this big plate glass window like we had at our house, and you said a little white line, kind of weird looking on his window at the top. And what happened 3 or 4 years earlier, you and Marmy used to come there, and the lady said, well, my picture window kind of slid down in the frame. And they said, well, we can fix that. They put a 1x4 up there and caulked it. And we had a plate glass window. I know you were probably too little to remember this, but one time we had the same thing. It rotted at the bottom when we hit the water issue. There were 2 men who had those things that move windows, and I was a kid watching them take the window out. They're going to rebuild the frame at our house years ago. And one of them stumbled and it broke. The window broke and hit the guy's arm, and now blood went everywhere. And I remember that. And the U Army thing is, don't do anything that injure your kids. They can't use the drink water from the plant. You can't use their potty. If they need to go potty, you got to go home. You got to go to town and let them use commercial toilet. So we get there, and the lady says, well, my window's to come down again. And I'm on the phone. This won't work. This is dangerous. Big plate glass window. Told them what happened when I was a kid. John, just pray on it. Now here, Doubting Thomas. Now I know about Doubting Thomas. And pray on it. What the hell is that going to do? Now this just happened to me the day before, 18 hours maybe. And I'm saying, pray on it. What, you know. And so we get all of our stuff laid out, and the little girl with a pregnant sister says, Mr. Ellis, I have to go potty. I said, oh. Okay, well, let's load everybody up. We're 15 minutes from town. I said, look, let's pray about this window first, guys. Let's pray about this window. Lord, tell us how, if we all prayed about this window, how we're going to fix this window. We go to McDonald's. She takes a pee. We're on the way back. We come back up, and I don't see the white thing on the window. I don't, man, somebody's come fixed it while we're gone or something. And we pull back up there, and while we were gone, maybe 30, 40 minutes. Now, mind you, 3 or 4 years ago, they put this 1x4 in and it slid a little bit. When we were gone, that window slid all the way down through the floor.
Through the floor?
Through the floor, rotten down about a foot under the floor. So it had been this low, it slid down about that low. Well, Doubting Thomas called. We no way we can do this now because it's stuck in the wood down there, and I got to pull it out. There's no way with nothing. The guy, well, John, look, I tell you, they're tired of telling me to pray about it. Look, we'll send somebody out. We'll send the helper out. Don't worry about it. Okay, we'll just wait here, guys. On the way out, the helper comes. When he gets there, he's a little bit late. What took you so long? Well, it's funny things is, you know, on the way out, I saw a truck on the side of the road that had a flat tire. I stopped the helper. And the guy, he came to me and said, here, you might need these things. I heard y'all were here in town. He was a glass man.
Oh, gosh.
And he had 2 of those things you walk on the window.
Yes.
You might need these things. I don't know where you're at church. I'll get them Monday. So they brought us these things.
Wow.
So okay, all right. So now I'm thinking, okay, I gotta go. Got it. Okay. So we're doing this. I get them up, and we're repairing, and this the football player had fallen asleep on the ladder painting a porch. The little girl that was with a pregnant daughter had gone to a car to get a car, had fallen asleep because they play all night at church when they come home. They don't go to bed. And all of them were asleep except little 17-year-old Brandy. And she and I had a hole in the floor there in front of the window. Cut the floor out, and it did about this much space underneath the house. And I was all on my back, scooting around underneath there, putting 2x4s and stuff ready. And Brandy was sitting on the top, handing me the nails and screws, and I said, man, I'm gonna need some cinder blocks to put these 4x4s on to build a base for this window to go up. So I called the office. Now, I've been under here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, getting stuff out of the way, cleaned up, ready to do this. I called the office. I need some cinder blocks. We don't have time to, Heidi, we gotta get on. We gotta close down and get on out of here. We're getting ready to pull out Saturday. You guys can't do that. I gotta have some cinder blocks. I'm sitting on the table on the floor of the living room with my feet dangling because it's got this much space underneath the house. That I've been 6'1", scooting all around in this area. It's a 4-foot, 5-foot window, and my foot hits. I don't know if you've been in the office. You saw those red stones that we got from our house from JJ's grandfather's house in Athens. We took a bunch of the cornerstones. Dad went there one time. Got a bunch of those stones. Have you seen them? My foot hit something, and there's 3 of those stones like that under that house that I was in for 2 hours, scooting around, nothing in that house, and those 3 stones. And then I say, well, hell, if they're not level, they won't work. And I grab them a mat and I throw in the corner, and I throw in the middle, and I throw in the corner, I put the 4x4 up. It's perfect.
Oh my God.
Don't tell me. I mean, the house.
You had a direct connection.
Bad things in my life. Why he chose to show himself to me, I don't know, but I like to share it with people because God's real. And He's real. And everybody doesn't get hit. Christy said, well, some people didn't get hit over there too. I wanted to believe that. But He's real. And I'm a crybaby, but
Wow.
and I can't count the miracles He's done for me. And all of us had miracles that maybe you don't even know about. Maybe you stopped to turn and close the door that you wouldn't normally close, and that kept you from getting run over by a dump truck or something. And yeah, that's my story.
Thank you. It's good.
Good job. Thanks for sharing, Johnny.
Wow.
That's quite a testimony. Made me cry.
Yeah, you're a crybaby anyway.
It must be in the family because I am too.
Yeah, Johnny, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Any more stories, or should I shut this off? All right.
Now, you still have Nanny's, or the house on the hill? Is that right?
What?
You still have Nanny's old house on the hill, or?
Yes, so Nanny's house, you have the little house is Nanny's old house, yes.
And then there's the big house next to it, right? You
Yeah,
have both.
the house that you remember from Nanny that was 12 by 24. We hooked a chain around it. They got a 4-wheel drive pickup. We drug it over to another side of that same property.
Okay.
And then eventually built a bedroom bath onto it, and then built another bedroom bath onto it. So now it's kind of what we call my little house. But it's been refinished a couple of times, and so what used to be a real unfinished roof now has tile floor,
Okay.
sheetrock walls,
And the big house that was on there, is that still, I remember it had big windows.
big tall vaulted
Yeah.
middle seat.
Do you still have that?
Yeah,
I would love to see that and see how it matches my
You should just
memory.
come.
so I spend a lot of time down there. I travel between Dallas and there, so I'm there a lot. Spend a few days in Dallas. Debbie comes down there sometimes. I'm generally there. We haven't been renting that house a lot. We used to rent it a lot. So there's quite a lot, particularly during the weekdays. That if you're ever in the neighborhood, just come by, whether I'm there or not.
What part of Texas is it in?
It's right outside of Boston. You picture
Okay.
Boston, just a little bit to the west of Boston.
I think I have a show later this year in Austin, so I'll
That'd
be
be
in the.
perfect. Somebody
I
said
can't-
it's on
I can't guarantee it because sometimes I only have time to come in, do the show, and then leave to get to the next location. So
Well, when you're in Austin, let me know,
I will.
and we'll coordinate, meet you there.
That'd be
I
great.
can tell you how to do that trick first.
I
want
Science.
torturing.
Yeah. So if you come to see one of my science shows, you will learn some magic. So.
Well,
and
does
so
that mean,
did you?
you know, do you just do your shows in schools, which means they probably wouldn't let a guy just
Well,
walk
I
in
will
the
do my
school.
show anywhere, but schools pay very well. And I cannot see myself holding time slots for other types of shows when I can make 4 times as much on the road in half a day. And then go spend the other half a day making that same amount.
So, but if you do a show in Austin, is it gonna be a school show?
Yeah, it's a school. I could see if they'll let some people come in if you want to come see one of my science shows. It isn't considered a private event because it's a school
Yeah.
thing, but I've never had problems on the occasion of bringing family in and say, I got some family here, and they've never seen it before.
Question,
Yes.
did you go to magic school? How do you learn well?
No, it was all books. Books and yeah,
How do you learn?
books. Yeah, I know, it's hard. It's very hard.
How to write a book?
Yeah, I got a whole book that I have. It's like, okay, hold the deck with your right middle third phalange along the outer right corner, and your beating
Yeah, I mean, how do you write all that fancy stuff?
It takes a while. Nowadays they got video, but I'm a fundamentalist when it comes to magic. I don't think that magic should never be put on video.
You know, I had a technical writing class in the University of Houston, and I had to write and describe something. And so I went to the library looking up, found a book about technical writing and described a Parker pen. So I said, I'll do a Parker pen. So I copied exactly what the description was. I got it made. And I kept the book out of the library. And when I went to take the book back, it fell, and I looked at it, opened up, and the back was donated by the professor that taught the class. I didn't do too well.
Well, you mentioned magic shops. You know, I used to read some of the little books, find some little books somewhere. But real quickly, I found the magic shop in Corpus Christi. And it was a little hole-in-the-wall strip thing.
That's most
A
of them.
little old man and his wife, they
Yes.
would go in there, they would demonstrate stuff. And they had the stuff that's like, man, if you had $5, you could buy a thing. You know,
Yeah.
if you had $20, you could buy a big thing. They
Yeah.
just had all the cool stuff, and then they had the little, 75-cent, ball and cup or something.
Yep,
Some
cup of
plastic
ball.
bars
You
with
got cup of base,
and it
ball
was
of
so
base.
cool, like, my friend and I who used to practice magic would go there and they would just be like, we saved up $3. Can we buy something with $3?
That's exactly how those magic shops don't exist anymore. Very few do. It's because it's all online.
Yeah.
But when I do find some brick and mortar magic shops, I try to go in. I'll try to spend as much money as I can just to keep them alive because
Yeah,
it's nostalgic for me to visit those shops.
it is.
When you described it, that was the shop I went to. Old man and his wife.
They would have, they would have goofy novelties, but then they would have magic
They had
stuff.
serious magic.
Some like real magic. I know things that we bought was the little die box that you slide.
Oh yeah, that's exactly.
There's a-
My magic guy who ran my magic shop, he was a manufacturer of magic as well. He made beautiful handmade wooden magic products.
Oh yeah.
And one of them that he made was the die box.
What did you call it?
Die box. It's this big box with 2 doors, and you have 1 die. And then you shut the doors, and you say, I'm going to make this disappear. And you kind of tilt it, and everybody can hear it slide. And then you open that one side door, look, it's gone, it's gone. And you shut it, and you're like, no, it's the other side. And so you tilt it again, and you hear it sliding, and it slides because there's 2 doors. Then you open this one. You go, no, it's not there because it's behind this one. Yeah, it's for kids. And you go back and forth, and you say, you can't open both. No, I know you can't open both. And so you go, oh, you can. And then you turn, it's missing, it's gone. And then that big die appears in a hat somewhere. So, but his die box,
Yeah.
called the Delbin die box, is a highly collectible magic prop. And I have a lot of Delbin stuff because he's the one that Ben Stone was my magic dealer. He was my dealer. Yeah, but he instilled into me to be original. And I just was fortunate that everyone that was around me was also original when it came to performing. and I didn't have too many people around me, but those that mattered, the ones I looked up to most were the most original ones. And said, well, I'm gonna be original. And I realize now that being original in magic's very rare. It's so rare because of magic. There's more books written on magic tricks than I've heard this as a statement. I don't know how true it is, but they say there's more books written on magic than any other art form.
Well,
And now there's video out there, so everyone's just kind of redoing their old
you know, there's a lot of videos of how to do big stuff. You know, the mask guy.
Yeah.
You know, sort of giving away that, which is sort of.
Yeah.
Well, do you know how Houdini used to do his escape tricks?
Yeah. I know that.
Do you do some of that stuff?
Don't like to risk my life. I like to let
It
it
is.
go.
So it is risky.
It is risky. I mean, I've done straitjacket escape. He made that popular. He made
Yeah,
that.
can dislocate your shoulders to do that.
Well, that's what they say. You know, but no, you don't have to do that. There's many ways to get out of a straitjacket. Now, my straitjacket routine to make it different was I would start by saying, the straitjacket escape was invented by Harry Houdini over 100 years ago. And since that time, it has only been performed by 27,000 other magicians.
Yeah.
So tonight you're going to see mine. And so my straitjacket is just comedy and stuff. But the big finale is what makes it different. When you struggle to take the straitjacket off, it's a struggle to keep your shirt on. So I decided in my routine, I'm not going to struggle to keep my shirt on. I'm just going to let it come off the straitjacket. Because you got straps down the back, you got your hands strapped together, and you got a strap here. So you got to get out. You got to get your hand out of one of the arms, and that's where most people think you dislocate your shoulder, but it's mostly acting. Get the buckles done, and now you got to get it off over your head, but you still got this. So you got to get this done, the crotch strap, and then my routine is I pull the straitjacket off my head, and I don't care about my shirt. I allow my shirt to come off. So my shirt comes up, I throw it down in the spotlight. I take this big pose.
You gotta
I'm
have abs,
shirtless.
baby. You gotta have abs. You gotta-
Well, I didn't have abs, but I had something funny. And I had a tan line of a bikini top.
Ah,
And
nice.
so it's just a little surprise. Entertainment is
I like
all
it.
about surprise. And so it's kind of like the classic comedian in drag, just at a different level. So they see me, mustache, joking, this big guy, and then to come that off and act like I don't realize it. So I'm like, what are you guys laughing at? And I look down and I see, and I'm like, oh. So then I get modest. I reach down, pick up the straitjacket cover, and I turn around and run. And I got straps on my back. 10 lines. 10
I
lines.
like it.
Now,
do magic tricks? I
Yeah.
remember you doing
Yeah, Jim and my friend Jim Hicks and I used to do magic.
Yes.
Jim passed away a few years ago, but we used to do stuff, and so I still have a box that has again a red die box and a few other hardware things, and then a couple of things that he and I built. We had Cynthia actually build a cover, and Jim and I built a table with a little opening and a special cover that was properly, black with silver, so it would dazzle you if you had a little secret spot. But he had like the zombie ball deal, and we had.
so weird to hear somebody, a layperson. I mean, he's not a layperson, but
Yeah.
a zombie ball is a ball that floats on a cloth.
Yeah.
Floats underneath the cloth, stuff. So just to give you guys.
Did you do that at school? I have a feeling of you and the hat and the roll.
We did at least one school show, and we would do some birthday parties.
But
It
you
was
were
very
very
fun. So we were Rick Tor and the Sorcerer, with the type that would as stupid little 16-year-olds would talk about touring the Middle East, and we found this sultan.
Hey, look at her now.
Yes, and it bothered me when I saw the guy that has magic show just near our house. Like it's on Fitzhugh Road, and it's a thing that just says Magics. It's a theater that a guy
that
has
current?
around.
Currently?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And his son worked for me. But like in watching his show, it would always disappoint me because it would be like, all right, now I'm going to do the floating chair trick. It's like, well, don't start out that way. Start out the fact that we're in a haunted house and
Yes.
you
You understand the
mystery.
value of presentation,
Yeah.
of giving a story. Exactly.
So that was a big part of we would do stupid stuff like that. Just like talking about
See his deep voice, he makes those good noises here.
part of our trick. But we had never ending water, kind of stuff, and a real neat box that had a real shiny grid in the front and a silver cylinder. That,
Square circle.
Square circle, yeah. We could show the box and the circle, and you can do some things, and you can pull stuff out. And
That used
we actually
black art.
built some of those.
Sounds like you really got into it.
We kind of got
He's got all the lingo down. Maybe he should be doing the magic show tonight.
so it's for somebody that's like studying magic stuff, you kind of get there. So when I watch Penn and Teller, I try real hard. Like when they say,
It doesn't matter.
you were real clever in the third part, and does that tell you that we know?
Yeah, you pick up on his little code words.
Some of them. But still, I'm impressed at the people that come on their show, and even when the magician is trying to fool them, says, "Yeah, you got it." It's like I missed it somehow.
Yeah.
It was still pretty darn good.
Did you ever do magic?
Never did. No, never really. I always enjoyed it, but I wouldn't be good at it. I'm not my manual dexterity, even though I play guitar. I don't think I would.
Well, you know what?
I
You
don't think I would
don't
be good
need
at that.
manual dexterity. There is a guy who just passed away recently named Wayne Dobson. Hilarious magician, professional magician in England. And he had MS. And so he started writing books on how to perform magic without using your hands.
Really?
So he was coming up with all kinds. And I have some of his books. I have
Interesting.
Look Ball No Hands is one of his tricks. One of his books.
That's cool.
So yeah, you don't. It's more. It's dexterity does help with some of the tricks, but really it's mental. There's a lot of it. I could do a trick that just uses words. How much I was planning on doing tonight. I was trying to think, what can I do that's not just card tricks? I got that one I can try to do. But all it is just the way you deliver information. Magic works. The way magic works is, what causes magic is manipulating information. Everything I did here was all about me just manipulating bits of information to allow your brain to fill in the gaps. And I know how your brain's going to fill in the gaps. And so that's also done in media and in politics. But in media and politics, and even religion has done it. In those kind of scenarios, you don't realize you're being shown a trick because there's nothing to go, oh, that's impossible. Like when you cut a woman in half, you know you're being fooled. It looks real, but you know you're being fooled because you know it's impossible to do that. But when the same techniques of manipulating information is used on ideas that people want to believe in, or just things that seem real, you don't get a way of saying, "Oh, I'm being fooled." And then on top of that, it's so easy to be fooled. It is so easy, and it's all manipulating information. That's all it is. It's manipulating information.
You should be a politician.
I should be thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to, but even I stopped watching TV years ago, 30 years ago, because I realized that they're manipulating me. They're using ideas. Like all the commercials that you see, they're all designed to make you feel bad about who you are, about how you look, about it's how you feel. And so they're manipulating you to do that using words, information, and all it is, it really is. And this is my lesson that I bring to magic. When I talk to magicians about magic theory, they never hear me talk about this. They do live, but they don't hear it from other magicians.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of the scientific mind that we inherited from being eligists or connected to the eligists, because I know that everybody in our family is quick with numbers, physics, science.
I was behind the table and handed that out. I must be that one.
So tell me something, the psychology of a lot of automobile commercials.
Yeah.
They show automobiles doing things that most of us don't want to do with our automobiles, like running 100 miles an hour through the desert,
Yeah.
kicking, and just doing, wipe out in circles and stuff. It's like,
I think they're trying
why does that sell cars?
They're
Nobody
trying to
wants do
trigger that animalistic side of you, the speed.
I just don't have any of
and
that.
a lot of them, you know how they associate, it's called association. Association is when you associate two separate ideas and they become linked together. And they do that a lot in the auto industry with Pretty Women, where they try to sell sexuality with the car. And so when you see that over and over and over, every time you see that connection, your brain can't help it. Your brain makes a connection. And so I wonder if in the future, if we can sue corporations for manipulating my brain. What's that?
That's what AI is going to do to that.
Yeah.
You know, that's why years ago, I remember they passed a law in movie theaters that have a little bit of a Coke or popcorn.
Yeah, yeah.
They passed a law where they couldn't do that.
Exactly.
Everybody can get up and go get popcorn or Coke. You know?
But you know what's worse? It's just outright doing it. It's so much easier. Just outright tell them, go get something to, tell them. Or create a situation where they feel like you create a nostalgic memory and
Pump some,
but association,
cinnamon roll smoking.
yes, association is the number one way, and I use association in my show. Like if I want to do a trick move that doesn't look natural, but I know if I did it, they may not know what I did, but they did something. Well, I'll start doing that move beforehand when I don't need to do it, just to associate it with something that's non-consequential. And then when I need to do it, they don't realize that
Your mind manipulator.
it is. Well, information.
You have one of those crystal balls.
I almost had a crystal ball burn my van down.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but the people who gaze in crystal balls, they always put a cloth over it
Yeah.
to protect it from the energies. And literally that's the truth, because if the sun comes in, it's a magnifying glass. And for weeks, I had a crystal ball that a friend of mine left in my van. And it sat there on my dashboard. And every once in a while, I thought I smelled burning plastic. And I didn't know what it was from.
Keep focusing over here.
Yeah. And then one day, I saw smoke coming from my dash. I go, what? And I start looking, nothing. So then the next day, smoke. I go, okay, I'm not crazy. And then I found
Magic! It's magic!
I finally figured out underneath the ball were all these little pit marks in my plastic dash from where it had been melted. There were little things that, like little containers that I would store stuff in that had holes in them that were seriously melted in ash. And I realized that
It's a magnifying glass.
yeah, I told my friend, I said, you know what, your crystal ball almost burnt my van down. And she goes, oh yeah, they do that. Like, oh, I didn't know. And then I researched a little bit, yeah, they cover it up. And they do it for metaphysical reasons, aesthetics, but really so it doesn't burn anything down. Yeah.
We ready to hit the road? Or do you want to hang out some more?
And I'm going to be
Hey,
the,
Steve, might want to wait a minute, 'cause Sherry's
Yeah.
closed.
So David, you're coming out to the hotel tonight?
yes, I'm staying there tonight.
Okay.
I'm leaving early.
Is there anyone in the bathroom?
My assistant's coming up. We're going to share a room.
Okay.
And she's going to be leaving her place in about an hour.
Oops, now they're in.
I'm going to text her right now that that's the plan. And then